are expecting Neil to go down the inside, a bit like Rodders did there on Keith. Rodders sees a gap and he goes for it. And then meanwhile, Vince has passed Jamo. He's alongside Jamo. Jamo's going back through on the inside. Vince is on the outside. The end of the Conrod straight into the little king here. Watch out, boys, side by side, 150 miles an hour. Into the braking zone, almost contact. As we go into the corner, Rodders trying to go around the outside. Seat 1 gets the inside and gets the job done, but Rodders was not giving that up without a fight. It's 5 cars for second place. This is incredible into the hairpin. This is going to end in tears. But back to the leaders side by side for Rodders and Seaton down towards the last corner. Here we go. This is Group C from Bathurst and this is race 2. Hi everyone and welcome back to LPB Racing for another race in the Group C Championship on GTSPORT. This is round 5, race 2 from Bathurst. Race 1 was epic. If you've not seen race 1, look on our channel and you'll find race 1. It was a brilliant race and now we're here for race 2. So grid is the finishing order of race 1. It's not correct on the left hand side because the numbers are incorrect above the cars here, so I'll just run you through the grid as it should be. So in order then, it's actually Bidster on pole. Bidster on pole position with Callum alongside him, so it's actually Bidster from Callum, and then it's actually Seek in 3rd with Neil in 4th, so all the way around for them two. And then this bit's all correct. It's Rodders in 5th, Video 6th, then it's 7th for Keith, and then it's 8th for TY, and Cyrex managed to join for this one in the Sauber in 9th. And if you've noticed, everyone's on the soft tyres because Keith and TY now have given up the idea of the hard tyres by the look of it, so they're starting on the softs. So we'll see how things go in this one. So let's get ready for the off then. So we've got Bidster on pole position there. I know it doesn't say first, it says second, but it just gets it wrong. Here's a little proof, because if you look at the front of the car, it says 1 there. So here we go, lights on the right hand side, and away we go. And it's a good start from the second row, people, by Seat 1 and Neil, but they can't go anywhere as we go into turn 1. And there's contact. Seat 1 hits Callum, and he goes off into the gravel. Callum's off into the gravel, right to the back of the grid goes Callum, and Seat 1 continues on. So we'll get again, we'll get that in the montage of replays at the halfway stage. But yeah, clearly there, Seat 1 hitting Callum off, and then it's Rodders in 3rd, Neil 4th. We've got Video 5th, followed by TY in 6th. As we go up the hill, remember the Nissans this time are on soft tyres like everyone else, so we'll see the true pace of the Nissan in this one, especially with them both being very light. So TY making his way up the hill then, Cyrex in the black Mercedes there as we go up the hill, and Neil, whoa, remember Cyrex is in an independent Mercedes, so Cyrex in an independent Mercedes there in the black colours. So there we go, there's Cyrex's colours, number 6, as we go down up and down the hills and into the top of the dipper, the top of the mountain. Here we go. Seat 1 is on the back of Bidster here. Bidster's not got it his own way so far. Neil Farmack is being harassed by TY. And we've got a slide from Video in the background, and Cyrex hits him, and Keith just says, excuse me boys, straight through the middle, and Callum goes through, and Cyrex comes out of ghosting, and Callum hits him. So Callum making up places here as we go into the Forest Elbow and out onto the straight. It's Bidster in the lead with Seat 1. They're further up ahead with Rodders in 3rd. They've got TY and Neil side by side down towards the end of the Conrod straight. The Nissan overtaking the Mazda with weight on. So the Mazda's got weight on in this, remember, as we break down into the corner at the end. Neil Farmack clips the grass, goes a bit wide, but he's okay. Keith, he stays ahead of Callum, and into the braking zone. Keith keeps ahead of Callum, but Callum's right on the back of him now, harassing him for that 6th place. As you go to the outside, Keith on the inside. And Callum gets the place, he goes through, and Keith now he's got to fend off a feisty Cyrex as Cyrex gets on the curb there and almost wipes himself out. Video's at the back. What an amazing first lap of this race as Cyrex is at the inside of Keith into turn 1, gets a clean move through into 7th place. So good move there from Cyrex. He unfortunately he couldn't make to race 1 due to work, but he's back off work now and he's back in for race 2. Further up we've got TY catching up to Rodders, and Bidster's not managed to pull away from Seat 1 too much yet. Seat 1's sticking with Bidster now. And also I forgot to mention the weight at the start of the race, the weight penalties. Callum is still on 160 kilos with the most heaviest car on the grid, Then we've got Bidster on second most weight now after winning the first one. So 120 kilos for Bidster. And then it's Neil Farmack on 80 kilos and Rodders on 40. So a bit of a change up with the weight situation for a few people. Seat 1 gets sideways going down the hill. Rodders goes even more sideways and gets caught up by TY. Hits the wall on the way out, and now that's TY's opportunity to get very close to the back. And meanwhile, we've got Callum and Cyrex going down the hill there, still nose to tail. And Rodders goes out of the Forest Elbow and doesn't get a very good run onto the straight, and TY is now right behind him in the draft. TY, no weight on his car, 40 kilos on Rodders' car, but the acceleration, the lack of acceleration on that Nissan compared to the Porsche is hindering him down the hill as he goes. I thought we were going to spin the car then because he caught the grass, but luckily got away with it as Neil Farmack goes too deep into the corner and loses time. There's Callum and Cyrex there together, going down the hill as well, so all close together. Bidster's not having it his own way. Seek's still on the back of him, and TY's still on the back of Rodders. A couple of nice battles here. Down towards turn 1, it's still Bids from Seat 1. Then it's Rodders with TY tucked up right behind him in the number 1. The reigning champion TY won his first LPB Championship on GT Sport last time out. While we've been under the LPB Racing banner, that is. Me and TY have raced in leagues before, and he's won plenty of stuff in them, but under LPB Racing, that's his first one, as TY goes through into third with a good move on Rodders there, takes the draft, goes straight through into third, and he goes up a place, and now he's going to try and chase down Seek and Bidster up front, and he's already pulling away from Rodders there. So, Seat 1, fastest lap of the race, 148.4, Bidster 148.8. So a difference there, as Bidster's just wearing his tyres a little bit more. Sorry for the changing cameras, guys, just trying to get back. Here we go. Cyrex is now past Callum. Cyrex passes Callum, and Callum goes down 149.2 for Callum. So a bit of a slower lap there for Cal as he hits the wall again. So not really feeling the love for this track so far, this one, Callum. Down the dipper we go, trying to keep with Cyrex best he can. Down the dipper, let the car go slightly airborne, the car goes heavy light as the car compresses into the tarmac, and it provides a very, very unique experience to the driver with feeling the G-forces and feeling it through the wheel. Seat 1 now, right behind Bidster for the lead, 3 for the lead, it's Bidster ahead with second place weight on, and then we've got Seek and TY behind, who are weight free in this, so let's see if Bidster can hold these two back. Down the straight we go, towards the last corner. TY on the back of Seat 1 looking for the inside, no way through. Just thought he'd poke his nose and see what he can do, but no way through there for him. Further back we've got Keith there, they've got video at the back, but we've got Cyrex in 6th. Where's... Oh, Callum's disconnected now. Callum is disconnected from the race, he's gone. So look down the audio, Callum is completely gone, he's disconnected from the race. Oh, such a shame for Callum. He weren't doing too bad, he were looking like he were going to pick up some pace later on in the race, but unfortunately for Callum, he disconnects, and yeah, we're not going to see him for the rest of this race, so unlucky for Callum there, very unlucky as we go up there. So there will be a new leader in the championship after this one, if Bidster or Neil can actually score enough points. So we'll have to see as Seat 1 hits the wall there, and TY closes right up. So remember, Callum will only be dethroned from the top if Bidster and Neil can actually score enough points, because they're the closest ones to him in the championship after race 1. So we'll have to see how that goes, because Bidster's not going to have it easy in this one. He's going to have Seat 1 and Neil and TY and possibly Rodders as well, closing on the back and harassing him all the way. So not having it like race 1 this time, as Seat 1 is now under pressure from TY. So a little bit of pressure taking off Bidster here, because he's got TY right behind Seat 1. But again, the lack of straight line speed of the Nissan hindering itself, and Seat 1 closes up to Bidster as well, and Bidster runs wide off the track, and Seat 1 goes round the outside of him. Bids makes a mistake, and Seat goes through, and TY goes through as well, and TY looking for the lead, and maybe on the inside. No, Seat 1 takes the lead, TY hits the curb, and Bidster goes down to third in one foul swoop. How it can all change in one corner, and that's how. Bidster runs wide, and TY and Seat take advantage as we go through the first corner and up the hill. Meanwhile in the background, Neil Farmack's past Rodders, so one Mazda falls backwards and one Mazda gains position. So Rodders there, not much difference in the lap. Well, there's about a second in the lap time, so Rodders must have made a mistake somewhere. Neil's gone through into 4th, and meanwhile back up here it's still TY, Bids, Neil and Rodders. Then we've got Cyrex trying to close up to these boys as well. Cyrex fastest lap of the race on lap 3, 1:48.2 and a 48.7 last time round. Cyrex is lapping at least half a second quicker than all the drivers in front of him, so looks like the Sauber might be onto something here. It's an independent Sauber, it's not the Sauber team, because Red Bull and Will unfortunately not able to make this one. Will due to connection difficulties, and Red Bull due to work commitments, so unfortunately not able to make the race. But TY closes right up on the back of seat 1 now as we go down the dipper. Bidster trying to stick with these boys best he can, but with the weight on the car it's not helping. As we go down towards the Forest Elbow and into the corner, and TY takes a very inside line, gets a good run out, but slides the car on the way out, absolutely shaking the back of that car like he's on dance floor. And Rodders has made a mistake. Rodders makes a mistake down to 6th place. Cyrex goes through, and he's now going to try and challenge Neil Farmack as well. Remember, we'll get a replay on what happened to Rodders later on in the race, but here we go. Cyrex and Neil side by side. Let's have a look at the leaders. They're still the same order. C1 just about holding off TY. Neil and Cyrex side by side down towards the end of the straight. Cyrex has to give best to Neil Farmack. Oh my word, the action's so fast in this race, I can't keep up. As Bidster goes over the curve following TY. TY, that's his name now. As Bidster goes over the curve and sort of gives me a bit of a heart murmur, but luckily he gets away with it and off he goes down the straight. And now we'll see the top end of the Jaguar pull away from the Nissan, as the Sauber right behind the Mercedes, Mercedes right behind the Mazda down the hill. Back to the leaders, seat 1 TY. Seat 1 into the corner, TY a bit deep into the corner there, runs a bit wide. That could be Bidster's opportunity to close up, and he does. Bidster closes up. You don't leave the door open for Bids, because he'll be in there like a duck to water. As we go into the hairpin, up the hill, get the traction. This is where the Nissan's slightly better than the Jaguar. Let's see if this is the bit where TY can close in. But Bidster's good round here as well. Don't forget Bids as he goes over the top. Dominated race 1 by more than 15 seconds as we go up and over the top. Bidster trying to stick with these boys and get his lead back, but doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon as we go down the hill into the dipper. All cars kicking up a little bit of dust as we go out of the dipper now. That was very quick through there. These cars really fast for this circuit as we go down. They used to use this circuit back in the day in the World Sports Car. They used to use this back in the day. Used to do the odd race in Australia. Mad to think that these kind of cars used to race around here, but yep, they used to back in the sort of late 80s. As we go down to the bottom of the hill, TY still trying to challenge seat 1 here, down to the bottom onto the brakes and no way through still. Seat 1 holds his own, ripped deep into the corner though. That could be the invitation that TY is looking for as we go down the bottom. Let's have a look further back. Cyrex, Neil and Rodders still in the same order. Cyrex looks like he's running wide. Cyrex runs very wide. I thought he were there, and Neil and Rodders just go straight through, and Cyrex throws himself back down to 6th place with his own mistake, and unlucky for him. Meanwhile, the top 3 still the same. Got to think about pit stops soon though. Let's have a look at everyone's fuel and tyre wear. So that's seat 1 and that's seat 1's tyres and fuel. Watch the gauges as we switch to TY. TY's got more fuel, same tyre wear. And then Bidster used more fuel and yet more worse tyre wear as TY goes for the lead on the inside of seat 1 into the mounting corner, and through goes TY. Bidster trying to take advantage of the mistake, of the move, and can't do anything about it. Video's in the pits back in 8th as well. Video's just pitted from the at the back, and there he goes. He's the first car to pit in this race, so a different strategy for him. Bidster has a time penalty he's got to get rid of there, and he gets rid of it before the top of the hill. So all happening here, absolutely intense stuff, and I'm not breathed yet. Whoa. Wow. As Neil hits the wall there, and that's going to make Rodders close up to the back of him. One little mistake over this mountain section and you're going to lose a lot of time, and possibly hold a lot of people up as well, because there's not much room to pass down here. As the top 3 have sort of started to spread now. TY's past Seek and he's got ahead ever since, so TY's ahead. And we've got seat 1 in 2nd, and we've got Bidster in 3rd. Worse tyre wear and fuel for Bidster because he's running more weight on the car, so he's got to pull more. Neil Farmack in 4th ahead of Rodders now, so Neil 4th, Rodders 5th. Cyrex trying to catch up best he can in 6th place. Remember, we've got to watch for the pit stops at some point. Keith's back in 7th, 150s now, so he's doing better lap times than he did on the hard tyres for definite. So let's hope Keith can keep it up. Down towards the last corner, no pit stops for the top 3 yet. They're still all through. They're not bothering to do it yet as Bidster goes very wide into the last corner, loses time there. So a few mistakes starting to arise for Bidster as Neil is the second car to pit. So Neil pits it from 4th place and into the pits he goes. So fresh tyres for Neil Farmack. Rodders and Cyrex go round. Keith comes round the last corner. He might come out near Neil somewhere here. So Neil's in the pits upon the jacks. A look further up front. Has anyone changed? No, nothing's changed in the order up front. There's Rodders. Let's watch Neil out the pits, straight in front of Keith and onto the gravel and grass and whatever. Kicks up a load of rubbish in Keith's face. I'm sure Keith appreciates that. Not as you go down the straight. So Neil Farmack rejoins in 6th, and the 2 cars ahead of him, Cyrex and Rodders, who we were battling with, are up the hill. Remember, it is slightly quicker to pit on this track than it is to actually go around the actual length of to go around the lap. For some reason, because obviously the game teleports you through the pit lane, which is very unrealistic and very bad in my opinion. Not the best realistic way of having the game, but unfortunately that's what we've got to deal with. So cars don't lose that much time in the pits as Cyrex then in 5th place just scratches the wall there, kicks up the sparks and gives his crew a heart attack as he goes down the hill now. Very nice livery on that car, by the way. Very nice livery. As Cyrex makes more mistakes, so it might look pretty, but it's not going fast at the minute. And that's helping Neil Farmack close right up to the back of him. Meanwhile, the leaders, TY seat 1, and then Bidster's further back now. Bidster's made some really bad mistakes to further back there, so he needs to sort of get his rhythm back. His last lap of 52.0 after running wide at the last corner. Not what you want from the lead. TY and Seat, will they pit this time? TY, no, goes through. Seat 1, yes, Seat 1 will pit this time. Seat 1 will pit, and Bidster's going to join him. Bidster's going to join him into the pits as well, so through into the entrance of the pit lane goes Seat 1 and Bids. Bids has actually saved a bit more fuel there than Seat 1, so Seat 1's been using a bit more. Rodders comes in as well. Cyrex should follow him, yes he does. Neil Farmack goes round, so this is the dramatic part of the race. Seat 1's already out, he's not even bothered putting fuel in. Seat 1's already out, Bidster's out as well. So they've had, let's have a look then. So Seat 1's put a tiny bit, well maybe the smallest amount of fuel in. And then Bidster's put a little bit more in, so he's put a little bit more in than Seat there, so lost a little bit more time, but could come better later on in the race. Neil Farmack goes through, he's on his first flying lap after the pitting. Keith goes through as well, and then we've got Rodders going through. What a camera that is, whoa, straight through. And Rodders goes through there. Cyrex, straight past. Hard tyres for Cyrex. Hard tyres for Cyrex, so he's trying what they did in race 1, but the other way around. He's done softs and now he's doing hards, and he should be able to stay on them till the end of the race. So we'll have to see what his pace is going to be like on the hard tyres, but judging by that running wide, not good I would say, because judging by what we saw in the first race, I would say not good either. But TY in the lead. Soft tyres on his car, probably trying to go a couple more laps before he pits. Let's try and maybe do a one-stop race. Seat 1 has already pitted, he's going to be trying to close up now. There's Bidster, he's out the pits as well. Out the Forest Elbow, onto the Conrod straight. Further back we've got Keith and Rodders. Keith has not pitted yet, he's still going, and he's in 5th place. But remember, he hasn't pitted, so he might be trying to go to the halfway point or just over the halfway point, then he'll definitely know he can get to the end of the race. But he's keeping Rodders back here, he's giving Rodders an honest battle. Rodders tries to go alongside him. This theoretically should be an easier move for Rodders because he's got fresh tyres, but not necessarily. TY's into the pits, by the way, up front. As we look at Keith and Rodders side by side down the straight, as Keith has a massive wobble as he clips the grass and almost runs into the side of Rodders on the straight. That would have been absolutely catastrophic, that. But as we come out the pits, TY comes out the pits and resumes his lead of the race. Fresh soft tyres on his car, so he might do a quick tyre stop towards the end of the race. We'll have to see. But he's definitely going to have to save the fuel if he wants to do it. Wants to go to the end. So will Seek, and Bidster, well, could go to the end, but I don't think the tyres will last because of the weight issue. Neil Farmack, 149.1 last time round for Neil Farmack, and he's going faster again this time. Keith's finally in. Keith is finally in the Nissan, so both Nissans pitting on the same lap, just a bit further apart in the field. Bit of fuel going in Keith's car there, a lot of fuel going in Keith's car there. As we go out the pits, and Keith, yeah, gives it a full Why he's getting a full tank, I don't know. He could have probably got away with 3/4 there, but definitely wanted to make sure it's safe then, and a quick tyre stop maybe later on. But Keith back in 8th. So TY in the lead. The other Nissan at the front of the field. Front of the field for TY, and then it's Seat 1 in 2nd place with Bidster hot on his heels in 3rd. So it looks like TY might be on for the win here. We'll have to see how he goes, but yeah, Neil is in 4th. He goes down the Forest Elbow, and then we've got Rodders 5th, and then we've got Cyrex and Video quite close together. So Cyrex on the hard tyres being caught by Video. Remember, Video was one of the first ones to pit back on laps 6 or 7. So a very early pit stop for Video as we go down the Forest Elbow and out of the other side, down the Conrod straight. This is where the Jaguar should be closing in on the Sauber. As we go down the straight, you'll see so we'll watch under the bridge. We'll swap under the bridge. 195 mile an hour, 210 mile an hour for the Jaguar. Here it comes, straight down the straight, 224 mile an hour. Brake, stop the car as you go into the corner, and now Video is right on the back of that Sauber because of the top end speed of that Jaguar being phenomenal as you go down towards the last corner. Right behind him now as we go across the line. Cyrex makes it, whoa, massive tank stopper for Cyrex on the hard tyres and Video. I think that was more of an avoidance than trying to make up the place, but massive off there. Oh, Cyrex is really not liking these hard tyres, squealing all over the place. And now Video's got another draft. As we go down the straight, Video goes out to the inside, Video to the inside of Cyrex, but no, tucks back in, doesn't bother to go for it. Didn't have the confidence on the brakes. So up the hill we go. The Jaguar should be pretty good on its brakes, but just didn't have the confidence into the corner. Now Cyrex goes wide and Video's on the inside, but still can't get through. So the track too narrow and not finding a good way to catapult his way up the hill. Meanwhile, Seat 1 there in 2nd place, being caught by Bidster. 147.6 for Bidster. Fastest lap of the race. Bidster's got his, looks like he's found his pace, and he's done a good lap there on his out lap. So we'll see TY's lap this time round as well, so we'll see what happens this time round. But meanwhile, back to Cyrex and Video, still close together, but Cyrex still holding his own on the hard tyres. Only just though, because he's made a lot of mistakes in this one so far as we go down the straight. TY across the line and sets the fastest lap of the race, 145.3. TY has found his pace on the soft tyres. He's finally got a good strategy going as well. And Bidster's right on the back of the Jaguar of Seat 1 as well. And as you go further back, here's Cyrex and Video down the end of the straight. Will Video finally have a go into the inside? He's going for it. Oh, Cyrex holds on around the outside though. No way. Shuts the door in his face. No way, Jose. You're not coming past that easy. And then it's Bidster and Seek in 2nd and 3rd. So we'll just take a quick break and we'll give you those first half of the race replays for you now. Here's a look at the replays of the first half. Okay, here's a replay of the first lap incident then. So here we go, we're down the board with Rodders. Watch here, he brakes late, hits Seek into Callum. So he actually hits Seek into his own teammate, which causes Callum to go right to the back. Okay, here's the second of the replays then on board with Keith. So watching here, watch Video's car, hits the wall there, and then unsettles himself, runs wide there as well, so he's having a disastrous lap here. Video then, with the car still unsettled, carries too much speed, hits the wall, bounces off, Cyrex has nowhere to go. Keith just about stops and tries to avoid Cyrex, will go straight through the middle, but then watch here, Callum comes down, and then as Cyrex unghosts himself, which the game does, so Callum just slightly hits him, but again Keith and Callum couldn't really avoid any contact there, and Cyrex and Video go down to 8th and 9th. Okay, here's the replay of Rodders then on lap 4. Here's something that happened to him to cause Neil to close up. So he runs wide, outbrakes himself completely, and just see how he's sliding himself on the grass, trying to get back onto the tarmac. Meanwhile, the leaders are still scrapping with each other. But then down here, Neil Farmack closes right upon Rodders here. And we go into the last corner. Rodders goes a little bit wide. Neil gets a fantastic run out of the corner, gets alongside him. Side by side now down towards turn 1. Rodders not wanting to give up, but Neil has the inside and takes 4th place. Okay, here's a replay of something that happened to Keith on lap 9. A bit embarrassing for Keith, but he comes into the pits and brakes very, very late. He's going a bit too fast. Clips and just runs wide and then spins the car around. And now he's got to turn the car around. He actually drives into the gravel to turn the car around, and then ends up going in the pits, but that's how Keith lost a lot of time. And now back to the race. And as we come back from that, it is still seat 1 in the lead. No, in second place. Set my teeth out, try again. It's TY in the lead with seat 1 second, with Bidster right behind him there, as we can see him there. Bidster harassing the back of the Jaguar now. And look, right behind him. Gives him a little nudge up the hill. He wasn't expecting the Jaguar to be that slow up the hill. Bidster's got a bit more fuel. Tyre wear a bit worse, but yeah. Seat 1, less fuel, better tyres. Again, that'll mean he'll have to pit earlier, we'll have to see. Oh, he runs wide. Seat 1 runs so wide off the track, and Bidster goes straight through into second. Seat 1 giving him a gift, and Bidster goes through into second place. And now let's see if Bidster can pull away. And speaking of pulling away, TY is doing what Bidster did in race 1, so Bidster gets calmer in this second race, with TY pulling out, and that's at least a good 15-second gap, probably more. As Bidster then goes out of the corner and down the straight, but this is where the Jaguar can fight back with the top end speed. Bidster's got 120 kilos on as well. Here we go. Seat 1 closing right up on the back of Bidster. Will he ever go into the left-hander? No, he won't, because he knows the Mazda's good on the brakes. So Bidster holds on to his second place, and down the hill we go towards the last corner. Nicely done through there for both drivers, up over the curb for Bids. Sliding his way out the corner, Neil Farmack in 4th place. Then we've got Rodders back in 5th. Video and Cyrex still down the straight, and Video is ahead of Cyrex. Probably passed him on the straight, so Video is ahead of Cyrex now into 6th place. And through the corner, the Jaguar should pull away out the corners with the soft tyres, but now Cyrex knows the hard tyres is not the way to go, and he's pitting. I would imagine this will be the swap to the soft tyres. Quick pit stop, come out on the softs and try and challenge Video again. Try and put himself out of sync with the Jaguar. Yep, no fuel, straight out for Cyrex, and he comes out right behind Video. That's the thing with having the pit stop that sort of transports you through and teleports you through. You don't lose much time, which is unrealistic in my eyes, but very unrealistic. Oh, car off! Seat 1's gone off, he's thrown it away. He's down to 5th place, and here comes his teammate. Video up the hill, but he's getting going, and Video has to wait behind his teammate, but Seat 1 throws it away from 3rd place. So, from 2nd and 3rd place, throws it away down to 5th. And Video and Cyrex, I think Cyrex was trying to go around the outside of Video there, but Video didn't see him. And to be fair, that wasn't really a good passing place for Cyrex there. Should have been a bit more patient. But yes, he is on completely new rubber here. So Cyrex is going to be a threat to the 2 Jaguars as we go down towards the dipper. I thought he was going to go around the outside of him there. The boy's bonkers. But Video makes a mistake down the dipper, hits the wall, and Cyrex goes straight through. So 1 position for Cyrex. The Video unfairly gets a penalty for that, even though he lost all that time. So Gran Turismo penalty system strikes again. Useless penalty system. They're like the one on Project Cars, they're both useless. As we go down the hill, Cyrex and Seat 1 together. Cyrex now in the draft of the Jaguar, but roughly doing the same speed. Because the Jaguar's that fast in a straight line, it cannot be caught. But into the corners, Cyrex has got fresh tyres. Here we go, into the corner. Fresh tyres is where the difference is made, and that's the difference. You see him close right up to the Jaguar. Here we go down the hill. Seat 1, down the hill, quarter a tank. Lighter car, but older tyres. Cyrex doing his best to keep with him. Meanwhile, got Bidster on his own now in 2nd. Video's pitted now from 7th place. Video pits from 7th. Tyres have had enough and need to put some more fuel in as well. So, service time for Video. See if Keith can close up to him as well, but Keith will be on older tyres as well. He's got a load of fuel to get to the end though, so maybe just a quick tyre stop for Keith in the future. So there goes Video out the pits, and Keith is going to be just behind him, only about 3 or 4 seconds behind him, so still no rest for Video. There's TY in the lead, pulling away and pulling away and pulling away. So TY there pulling away from Bidster, who's about literally where TY were in race 1. So yeah, Bidster then with a quarter of a tank. TY was just under a quarter of a tank. I would imagine within the next few laps there'll be a splash and dash and a tyre stop for these boys just to get them to the end of the race. So look, TY now. TY goes round this time. There's Neil Farmack. Rodders in 4th, Seat 5th. After the, with feisty Cyrex still right behind him. Cyrex still not able to find a way through past this Jaguar, and he's only going to have a few laps left of these fresh tyres before they start getting worse. So he needs to strike early while he can. But again, it's all about catching that Jaguar and not getting penalties, because he got a penalty there, and look, that's lost him his draft. He's going to have to work another couple of laps now to gain that time back. Meanwhile, Neil Farmack in 3rd, 150.2 last time round, and pitting. Neil is pitting. This will probably be his last pit stop before the end of the race, I would imagine so. So we'll have to see how we go here. But lap 14, Neil's in. Rodders goes round. So let's see how close he's going to be at the pits, because Neil will put a little bit of fuel in. Rodders is going towards turn 1. Neil's still in the pits. Rodders comes out of turn 1 and he's got him. So seat 1 now, and here comes Neil. So Neil rejoins in 4th place behind Rodders, but now he can get on with it. He's definitely got enough fuel to get to the end of the race, and now he can give it the beans. He's got 7 laps left in this stint, or 7 or 8 laps left in this stint. And it should be okay for the soft tyres to do. So that should be fine for the soft tyres to do, especially with a bit of a less fuel on board compared to when he started the race. So we'll see how Neil gets on later on in the race. Seat 1 and Cyrex are still together, but Cyrex, remember, fell back with that penalty and hitting the wall, so not good accommodation there. He's got a lot more fuel than Seat 1, so he'll be able to sort of maybe splash and dash towards the end, very quick pit stop. But the one thing he needs to do, Cyrex, is stop getting those penalties, because those penalties are not going to help him, because he's just going to have to keep getting rid of them before the end of each lap. So Seat 1 there, I think Seat 1 took a lot of dirt there, and yes he did. He's been caught up by Cyrex now. Little mini error by Seat 1 is all it takes, and Cyrex again having to slow down and get rid of the penalty. So he closes up, and now he's lost the time again. So Cyrex needs to behave himself, or just try and keep away from all the curbs, because this game does punish you in some very weird ways. So it might not just be Cyrex, it might be the fact that the game is just giving out penalties like it's in its sleep. Video in 7th, Keith in 8th. Keith actually closing up on Video here. I think Video had a horrible lap the other time round, 2 minute 10. So Video's made some kind of mistake somewhere, and Keith closes up now in 8th place. But again, he'll not close up on the straight because of the speed of the Jaguar. Meanwhile, Rodders is in from 4th, so it's going to be close between him and Neil. Where's he going to come out? How much fuel is he going to put in towards the end of the race? Here we go. Fueling up the car. Hardly any fuel goes in. Neil Farmack's come out of turn 1, and where's Rodders? There's Rodders, half a tank. Neil's gone just over half a tank, so Rodders clearly thinking then he can get to the end on this fuel, unless he's banking on trying to catch up to Neil and then sort of save fuel as he's behind him. So you know that could be a strategy that works. But Seat 1 to 5th, he's closing up on Rodders, but look at the fuel level. Seat 1 will be in the pits probably at the end of this lap, or maybe if he's really good on fuel, maybe the lap after. But I would imagine this lap, Seat 1 will be in tyre change and get to the end. Cyrex has not got much fuel to put in, so Cyrex could end up jumping Seat 1 in the pit stops here if he can get the car out the corners without any penalties, that is. Video and Keith go around there in 7th and 8th. Keith keeping on the back of Video here. Difference being the fuel's the same, but Keith's tyres are quite a few more laps older than Video's tyres. But if Keith can look after this rubber and stick with Video, this could work. TY on lap 17, very low on fuel. I would imagine TY will be in for a quick splash and dash and a tyre change at the end of this lap. Bidster will probably do the same at the end of the next one. We'll see. Well, unless he's coming in now. He comes in now. So Bidster coming in now. So we just put enough fuel in to get to the end. So Bidster is now in. The orange pit crew go out to service the renowned Mazda. Of which, look at that livery, beautiful livery, and that was done by hand by Seat 1, because the number 22 is on the side, not 55, so that's proof that it was done by hand by Seat 1. Fantastic livery there, and same with all the other liveries on track. Fantastic job by our resident livery master, Seat 1. So Bidster's at the pits, and Neil is now into 3rd, Rodders 4th. Seat 1 in the pits in 5th, I was right, Seat 1 now in the pits. Putting fuel in. Cyrex actually goes round, and he's got to get rid of a penalty, so not helping himself here, Cyrex. C1's got a lot of fuel to put in, but that's sort of... They're going to come out very close here because Cyrex had a penalty, and yes, there they go. Cyrex is now ahead. Lighter car, more worn tyres, but C1 now has got just tiny bit more fuel than Sarex, but more importantly, fresh rubber to go to the end of the race. Keeps in 8th place, and he comes out on fresh tyres, but again doesn't have to put much fuel in. So now he might be able to catch video by the end. So a couple of little battles developing here as the race goes towards its last quarter. So a few little battles starting to appear. Let's have a little run through the order then. As TY's pit. Oh, he's lagging! TY's lagging very badly as he comes into the pits. Now, he doesn't want to lag at this stage of the race, because if he disconnects, that's no points. So he's into the pit box, but I don't see him staying there for very long if he's going to lag like that. Oh, and he's disconnected! No! He's disconnected. TY goes from... Look, we've got 7 people on track now. TY disconnects from first position, and Bidster is now the new leader, because a disconnection is the same as a retirement in LPB Racing. Same as like blowing your engine up and having to retire from the race. So TY unfortunately disconnects from the race, and Bidster is now our new leader. So Neil Farmack is now second, Rod is third, C1 fourth with Cyrex in 5th position. So all happening here. Oh man, I really feel for TY. He had a massive lead, a good 15-20 second lead over Bidster in 2nd place, but if your connection's not up to it on online racing, it's a bit like having a dodgy engine blow up on you. So yeah, not good. As Cyrex now comes down to the last corner, and oh no, Cyrex he's gone really fast into the last corner. He's disconnecting as well. Cyrex is disconnecting as well. His car's doing all sorts of stuff. Yeah, Cyrex has disconnected from the race. Oh, what a pity for Cyrex. Oh, man. So we're going to end up with 6 cars left. So, yeah, he's gone. He's gone. Within the space of 30 seconds to a minute, TY and Cyrex disconnect on the same lap of the race. Absolutely as strange as anything. So, it's now Bidster in the lead with Neil Farmack second, Rod is third, Seat 1 in 4th, Video now into 5th, and Keith into 6th. So how things can change in the space of half a lap, and such disappointment there for Cyrex and TY, but the race must go on. It's like I said, it's like having a gearbox or an engine blow up. It's one of those things that happens in motorsport. Then doing esports, you know, electronic sports online, it is a lottery on your connection sometimes. So it depends on how things go and where you are in the country, but unfortunately it's TY and Cyrex depart, and Bidster is now our new leader. So Bidster then gifted the first place. It'll be a bit of a hollow victory even if he does stay there till the end, but you never know, he's got to get to the end first, because you never know, he might disconnect, you never know. With all the disconnections that have happened, we might have the whole field do it, you never know. But Neil Farmer then in 2nd place down, so it's now become a Mazda 1-2. So more points to the Mazda team in the team points if they can hold on to this. Rodders will be trying to get some redemption here. So we've had Callum disconnect, TY disconnect, and Cyrex disconnect all in one race. Madness, never seen this before. But Rodders then in 3rd place. He'll try and do his teammate Callum some justice by getting Neil Farmack if he can. Seat 1 in 4th and 5th, and then 5th position for Video in the 2nd Jaguar, and Keith will try and do what he can for TY. Let's see if Keith can nick a 5th place off Video in the last few laps, because they're not much in it now, it's just a pace difference. So let's check the lap times. Bidster 148.3, 149.8 for Neil, bit slower, 149.7. So 149.8, sorry, for Neil, and 149.7 for Rodders. So Rodders then, I dare say, the quicker car of the two. So the battle for second is still well and truly on here. Seat 1 a 149.5 with a 148.9 for Video, and a 152.3 for Keith. But remember, I don't think he's been out of the pits very long. So again, we'll have to wait and see how he does in a lap or so's time. But the main battle on track now is the battle for 2nd place. It is Neil Farmack in the Mazda. There he is in the white Mazda, the American Mazda colours, versus Rodders in the Coca-Cola sponsored Porsche. Other drinks are available. Down the Conrod straight we go. It's sort of a put of a dampener on the race really, without having the other guys disconnect, but still we've got some good action still to follow here at Bathurst, and it's not over until the checkered flag flies. Down the straight, Rodders just about in the draft of the Mazda there, touching 220 mile an hour, whereas the Mazda only touching 207. Still no mean feat doing 207 mile an hour, but when you're doing 220, it's a bit of a difference. So Rodders then doing what he can to try and close up to the back of Neil Farmack. The fuel Neil's fuel looking a bit more safe than Rodders, but again, I think we'll easily get to the end of the race with only 3 laps remaining in this race. Lap 20, 21 and 22. 3 laps to go in this race, and it's Neil ahead of Rodders still. Last lap time's 50.0 for Neil and a 48.9 for Rodders. Rodders is within drafting range. Here we go. Here's where the gap starts to come down into the mountain section. Up the mountain we go, here up the climb. And the Mazda screaming for its life up here, down a second gear, into the apex. Use the camber of the corner to your advantage. Rodders goes a bit wider, but again, the camber helping him through the corner. Up the hill we go. Slight tyre advantage for Rodders at this stage, and he's got a lighter car. And yeah, because not just on fuel, but on weight as well. Neil Farmack with 80 kilos on, and Rodders with 40 kilos on. So a lot heavier car for Neil Farmack with fuel and weight compared to Rodders. So we'll see if that becomes a factor in the next few corners. But onto the straight we go. Neil's pulled out, well, he's kept the gap roughly the same, so he's done all he can through this section. But now we go onto the straight, and now we'll see the Porsche attempt to close in on the Mazda. There's the Mazda, there's the Porsche. Let's look at the speed trap as we go through, as the camera changes one. Wow, look at the speed difference. Already in the 220 plus mile an hour as Rodders breaks down into the corner at the far end. Rodders just needs to get the mountain section a bit more cleaner, I think, and then he'll be able to close up to the back of Neil Farmack and challenge for position. But until he can do... Oh! What the hell's Neil doing? Oh, he's doing what he did in race 1. He's doing what he did in race 1. He's going to pit. Fresh tyres, quicker through the pits, and try and get out ahead of Rodders or get out behind him and pass him with fresh rubber. He does not need to put fuel in. Tyres, go! Out the pits. And out the pitch we go, and it's Neil Farmack behind. He's behind him, but he's got, look at the fresh rubber difference. So it's an absolute repeat of race 1 for Neil Farmack. Let's see if it pays off. Can Rodders keep the Mazda back? This is where the tension is starting to go. Here we go. Neil Farmack Mazda, Rodders Porsche. Not much fuel left in either car. We've got definitely enough to get to the end of the race. Neil now has got the fresh tyre advantage. He might have a slightly heavier car, but it was a sensible thing by Neil. If he didn't feel like he was going to keep him back, then it's a good idea to go for the fresh rubber, because the fresh rubber will counteract, at least for the next lap or two, the weight differential between the two cars, of which the Mazda is the heavier car. Down the dipper we go. This is where you'll see the grip difference. There we go. Look at the fresh tyres making him close right up to the back of that Porsche. Through the corners, down we go. Bidson's not too far ahead, and he's only just come out the Forest Elbow onto the Conrod straight. But Rodders now with Neil right behind him onto the straight. Let's see if the Mazda can do any damage on the straight this time compared to the Porsche. Let's go on board with the Porsche of Rodders and have a look back at Neil Farmack. And let's have a look at the speed trap. Here we go. 194, Rodders. And then we go on board with Neil, and look, 200 plus mile an hour. We go on board with Rodders again. He's closing right up Neil Farmack, but is he going to go on the brakes? No, he can't manage it into here. He's got to try and wait. But Rodders still got some life left in those soft tyres, so it's going to be a last lap dash between Rodders and Neil Farmack here. Bidson's already on his last lap. Lap 22 of 22. He's on his last lap and looking good for the victory here that he was gifted by TY. I don't worry, TY, I've not forgot. As we go down to turn 1, Neil goes for the inside note. Rodders defends, well, he didn't really defend, he just runs his racing line, and sometimes running your racing line can be a better defence than actually defending into the corner. Because sometimes when you defend into the corner, you get quite a bad run out the corner. So, especially when you're going onto a long straight like this, you do not want to lose speed onto that straight. Sometimes it's worth sacrificing the defence to try and get the run onto the straight, and Neil knew exactly what he was doing there and decided to follow suit. But Neil is running out of time here. He needs to use all these soft tyres. He needs to push like anything up this hill and try and catch up as close to Rodders as he can for the Conrod straight. Meanwhile, further back video, 151 and Keith for 149. So you never, if this keeps going for Keith might be right on the back of video by the time it comes to the checkered flag. Bidster 148.3 last time round. Good lap for Bidster last time round, but it's Rodders in second place with Neil in third. That's the main battle on track. Down to the Forest Elbow for the last time. Rodders goes in deep. Rodders goes in deep. He's lost speed onto the straight. Neil Farmack goes a bit deep himself, but he might be able to get this back in the draft as we go down the straight. Here we go. Last attempt here for Neil Farmack to get second place. He's drafted him. Rodders will have to defend to the left if he can, but Neil Farmack goes to the left anyway. Side by side round the little kink, and Neil Farmack takes second place, but he runs wide and he's off the track. No! Rodders gets second place, but Bidster wins. Bidster wins ahead, gets gifted the win. Bidster wins the race, and Rodders is going to take second. Neil Farmack had a valiant effort in third, but no way to. There was no way he was going to make the car stop there. Rodders gets second. Neil gets third. Yeah, Neil just ran the car out too much and just couldn't really get anywhere into the braking zone, so unfortunately ran the car wide. And Seat 1's going to take a commendable fourth. Well done to Seat 1. Well, it's not over between Video and Keith. Keith's close right up on Video on this last lap of the race. Video and Keith for 5th position. Down to the line, here we go. Down to the last corner, and Video's got enough of a gap here, I think. He just needs to get the braking point dead on. Keith's going to try and close up best he can, but it's going to be Video. Oh, Keith loses it. Keith's lost it on the exit of the last corner, got too excited and gets the power on too much, and Keith is going to be definitely 6th, but unlucky for Keith there. He was looking good for more. So we'll just go to the replays of the second half for you first. Here's the replays from the second half. Okay, here's a replay on board with Bidster of what happened to Seat 1 on lap 12. So you're going over the mountain section here, we're just following Seat. So all looks good so far, but then we go into this left-hander, and Seat 1 runs very, very wide onto the gravel, onto the grass, and we go straight through. Luckily, he keeps it close to the wall as he rejoins, but yep, Seat 1's lost the place, but at least he's now right behind him. And now here's another replay on board with Seat 1 this time, so he's going to try and pass Bidster for second on the inside. He's got the inside, but as he hits the curb, he's on the curb, he's on the curb, he's on the curb, and he just goes round, spins the car around on the curb into the wall, and then tries to get the car spun round again. But if we go onto the roof cam, you can see there we've got to wait because Neil Farmack goes past. Then we've still not got a gap because there's Rodders. Rodders goes through, and now we finally get the chance to rejoin. As we still look back, you'll see Video there coming up the hill. So we get going just in front of his teammate, but we've lost a lot of time there, and that's ruined Seat 1's race. Okay, here's the last of the replays then, looking on board with Neil Farmack to see his move on Rodders, just see how it went as he goes around the outside of him, very brave around the outside there. We switch to Rodders, see Neil runs wide, off onto the grass he goes, just clips the curb on the inside, runs wide, and then it has to rejoin in third, but a valiant effort, but still only gets a third place. And as we come back from that, we'll now take you to the results. Okay guys, here's the results then. So Bidster wins the race, well done to Bidster. 12 seconds ahead of Rodders in second, then it's third for Neil Farmack. Fourth is Seat 1. We've got Video in fifth, and Keith rounds off the 6 finishers. TY, Cyrex and Callum unfortunately disconnected from the race, which counts the same as a retirement, but TY does get an extra point for the fastest lap before he disconnected. Okay guys, here's the overall standings after round 5 then. So it is Callum in the lead on 141, 1 point ahead of Bidster in second on 140, very close at the top of the field there. It is then TY on 134 in third, then it's fourth for Neil Farmack on 129, 123 for Seek in fifth, then it's Rodders in sixth on 117. And then 7th is Keith on 81, 1 point ahead of Video on 80 in 8th place, very close there. And then we've got Red Bull on 51, Cyrex on 37, Will on 12, and Daniel Irwin with the solitary 1 point from his lack of showings. And then it's the Team Mazda on 269 points in first, with second is Porsche on 258. Then we've got Nissan on 215, Jaguar on 203, so we've got a couple of good fights going on in the teams. But then we've got Sauber lacking behind on 63 points. And after we come back from the results, here is your winner, Bidster in the Mazda. Should have been TY if he didn't, if he could actually make the last few laps of the race without disconnecting. But it is Bidster who inherits the win. So, because like I said, it is a disconnection is just like a mechanical failure or a retirement. So Bidster takes the win. Well done to Bidster. And next time we will be at Brands Hatch GP. So I just had to look on my spreadsheet there. So Brands Hatch GP for the next race. So that should be another entertaining one. And we'll see you next time for that one, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit your notification bell to be notified of more awesome races by LPB Racing. And we'll see you guys next time. Take care, guys. Thank you for watching another race by LPB Racing. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave your comments down below. And next time it'll be Group C from Brands Hatch, and that'll be race 1.